First off, I'm a huge fan of the French New Wave, Jules and Jim, and Breathless and whatnot. What was it like for you to actually portray a person who wasn't just a vision of beauty, but was actually a real person with real human desires, was flawed, just a real person in general? And it's a great parallel, I think, when you connect Jules and Jim with your film. So.
It's just what I'm interested in. When I read a script, I want to see life and human beings and things that make us so beautiful as human beings, emotions, contrasts. So I was so pleased when I read Victor's script. It's about humanity, human beings, connections, relationships, and colors. So I guess, this inspired me because I see life like that. It should be full of colors. We need to embrace our own vulnerability, our own anger sometimes, our own, just what make us human. And not robots, Yeah. So it was a pleasure just bringing that life to the screen, thanks to those amazing dialogues, and that helped as well.
Is there a big challenge because as an actor you're not trying to save the world? It's not some kind of superhero movie. The vulnerability is you're actually acting off someone else, building a chemistry and a real intimacy. Can you just talk about preparing that and making those moments seem absolutely real?
I think that you can save the world with either, being a superhero, or maybe being vulnerable is the way to being a superhero. Because you bring humanity. For me, art is important because you bring humanity to the screen, and people eventually will connect to emotions and their own humanity. And this is the goal of art initially, with a big A, is to lift up people, their souls, to touch them without you understanding exactly why you moved. It's not cerebral. It has to connect with yourselves, with your soul, and then you step out of the theater and you feel good, about yourself. You could connect with somebody else's sadness or joy, or whatever. And to me, this is why this is so important that movies carry that substance and messages, because then human beings connect with their humanity, and you can change the world this way because they connect with their unicity and they want to bring themselves something else, in their life.
That's a beautiful answer, I think.
Yes.
Really is a lovely answer.
Speaking of changing the world, how about changing New York? Because you made it through visually and through the acting, you made it seem like such a small town, small intimate place to be in where, people are just 20 minutes away from bumping into each other. Can you just talk about the visual challenges of making such a metropolis a very intimate place to be?
Well, it is, crowded and loud and filled with gargantuan surprises at the spur of the moment that you can't possibly plan on. But in exchange, you get this incredible background, this beautiful pulse beat running through your movie, because without spending a second on it, there's all that real life going on. Just in the back of your frame, at the edge of your frame, it infuses whatever it is you shoot. So it's a great gift, and the gift outweighs the takes you lose to an ambulance or a belching bus or a crane or some sort of pterodactyl that flew in, and it's worth it. In terms of its small townness, it's where I'm from, and it always felt that way to me, and I've said that a million times to people, and if you're not from there, maybe it's hard to conceive of it that way, but I would run into people all the time that I knew in their neighborhood and not in their neighborhood, and it never struck me as the least bit strange. It's only a little island.
There's an amazing shot with you and Anton talking in the park, and it seems, I don't know how long it goes on for, from far to close. How much of a challenge was it, A, to act that scene, because it's a big ambitious sequence, and then for you to actually mount and storyboard that sequence?
It was great because we had months before rehearsals with Vic on Skype, and it was just to run lines so that we did them, and then Vic told me his point of view, to just discussion. And the fact that I was so, it's important for me to be free with the lines, just you know them so well that then you're free. and you don't have to think about them anymore once you are on the set or in the street. And it was so great that we did that in advance, because then I didn't even think about the lines anymore. I was just in the moment, connecting with Brian, and with whatever impulse would come to me, like in life. So that was great, And
we did lose takes. We lost takes to a recumbent bicyclist. We lost takes to a guy in a bright orange outfit who walked into the shot and literally just stood in front of our actors such that you could not see them. It was a rare actor eclipse. I've never seen that before, full actor eclipse. There was another guy who came in and noticed the cameras after he came in, and instead of just going out, he made a flagrant gesture of I'm sorry.
That's probably something I'd do. But
so you do. It's challenging. Birds and the light changing. There's a canopy of trees over the cobblestone side of Fifth Avenue. So when the light gets high enough that it's over the canopy, the light is different from what it was 10 minutes ago, and it's not going to match. And then when it continues over the park side, it changes again. So you have to be deft and fast when you get the opportunity. Here's the good news. The good news is Arnaud Potier is shooting it. He knows exactly what to do. He's never going to lose a take to camera. He's measured everything. He's framed everything. It's all gorgeous, and it's one shot. So he's in charge. He's operating. And you've got Bérénice and you've got Anton, who know every syllable of what they have to say. They like each other, both on and off screen. They are able to run with each other's moment to moment, I wouldn't say changes, but slight alterations, and instinctively know what they should do in response. And so you expect to be terrified, but you're really not. And I think it was take 7 that we got the one that we used. And sure, there were a couple of sound issues, but we worked those out in post. It's a great feeling when you have it.
In general, very quickly, one of the great themes of this film is the idea of what do they call it? The persistence of memory. Can you just talk about how memory plays an important part in the relationship and love? So.
Well, I would just say that we are the sum total of our memories, and just because they're only memories now doesn't mean they've lost their value. Just because something isn't still going on doesn't mean it's lost its value. It's still contributing to your life and to who you are as a person and to whatever the calculus is that's making up your happiness or your lack of it. So, but we have a tendency, especially in our society, to be very oriented to the moment. What happens in the next moment or what happened in the previous moment is not important, and I don't think that's right. I think it's oblivious. I think we're cheating ourselves if we don't reach back into the past every now and then. That said, you can do too much of it, can't you? And you can spend so much time wondering, what should I have done? What do I do with this regret? What do I do with this question? Should I have gone through that door? Am I glad I didn't go through that door? That you can paralyze yourself in the here and now. So it's a balance, like everything else. And the movie's point is that we just because things change doesn't mean they lose their value. You should. It's good for you to carry them with you wherever you go.
And very, very quickly, for you, just to look back in a moment, was this a very special film for you? Because it's such a personal journey, and there's so many things going on. I'm sure it must have kind of, in a way, fed your soul as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm convinced that things in one human journey, happens for a reason. And this is why I'm happy the scripts I'm working on always connect with me and my discoveries at this moment in my life. And the most beautiful topic for me in this movie is that, yes, for instance, love is eternal in a way. There's no... When we talk about the length of a relationship or with, it can be love with your ancestors you never met, Things, we are a collection of memories, I don't know if maybe we have other lives, maybe we have several lives, I don't know. We are a collection of memories, and sometimes you feel it when you go somewhere and you know that. I've never been there, but I know that, This is the most beautiful thing that is for me in this story. Things don't die, you know. Things are all there, connecting, you know. And when you think about it, universe, everything is here all the time, moving, changing, but everything is here, connecting. And I love this, just to think about that, the invisible. Maybe there's more to what we just see, you know, what is obvious. And I just love that it was. It's a beautiful topic, and I talking about eternity for me, you know, my point of view. And I believe that love is like there's no end, you know.
Thank you for your time.
Delighted. Thank you for being.